Hello, Caribbean family, and welcome again to another amazing episode on the Enlightened Path. I'm your host, Hadassah, and if you're new here or if you haven't done so as yet, I'm encouraging you to like, subscribe, and share this information with at least one person. I am of the belief that after you watch this video, you're going to know exactly who you have to send it to. That is the intention that I'm setting. Now, last week we spoke about your environment and how your environment affect your goals. Now, while we were doing that, we realized that the two most important relationship that you can ever have is your partner as well as your circle. And once those two aspects of your relationship is not in alignment, it makes it very difficult for you. It makes it very difficult for you to be able to carry out your goals. Now, this week, we are going to talk in depth about the types of relationships. So last week I promised you guys that this is going to be a follow-up, because it depending on the type of relationship that you are currently in, it's going to determine how much of your goals you are going to achieve within that timeline. Mel Robbins, one of my mentors, she said something very, very profound that has stayed with me for as long as I could remember. She once said that people come into your life for a reason, for a season, and a lifetime. A reason, a season, or a lifetime. And she also placed emphasis on the fact that you should not force people into the wrong category. And today's topic is really going to help you with that, so that when you are finished with this episode, you should know exactly where you stand in the relationships that are closest to you, so you will know what is the next step that you have to do. There are three main types of relationships that the soul will encounter in a lifetime. There are three main relationships. The first relationship is going to be a karmic relationship. We will be talking about that. The second type of relationship is a twin flame relationship. I'm not going to talk about that as it is not applicable for this session, but we're going to talk about it on another video when we talk about love and the importance of knowing the type of relationship you are in when selecting a partner. We will also talk about what that looks like, but that is for another episode. And then we will touch deeply into soulmate relationship. Two things that we're going to be touching on today is one, a karmic relationship, and a soulmate relationship. Now, the reason why I'm using, and you will see exactly why these two are so important and why I choose them before the end of this video. But the reason why I chose them is because it is applicable across board. It can apply to a platonic relationship. It can apply to a romantic relationship. It can apply to a workplace relationship. It can be applied to friendships as well. So I'm using these two because these two covers exactly what it is I want to talk about. And next thing I want to mention before I get into the next thing I want to mention before I get into detail with this video is that one of those relationships are your lessons. When the soul arrives, the soul has to encounter lessons. This is the wheel of life. It is what it is. We must encounter lessons. So that is when a karmic relationship shows up. The only reason it shows up is to teach us lessons. And then we have the soulmate relationship. The soulmate relationships are blessings in disguise, are like somebody who show up out of nowhere to help you in a situation. Remember the quote I mentioned earlier about what Mel Robbins said? Remember, It is sometimes for a season, it is sometimes for a reason, and it is sometimes for a lifetime. Let me get a little bit deeper. I'm going to teach you, right? I'm going to teach you how to learn your lesson in a karmic relationship. So, we're going to start with the karmic relationship and then we're going to go into the soulmate relationship, because in all aspect of your life, these two can apply. One is your lesson, one is your blessing. Your karmic relationship is your lesson. Let's talk a little bit about that. A karmic relationship is a relationship in itself that you are naturally drawn to. However, you know to yourself that this is not a good relationship for you. If you are in a romantic relationship, is that individual who trigger all of your wounds, all of your childhood trauma. Is that person who you love so much, yet you still cannot let go of that individual. If you are in a friendship, then this is a friend who you know is not a good friend to you, but for some reason or the other, you cannot let go. It can apply to your job as well, because some of us know the nature of our job and we are still staying in that environment. Now, I'm going to break it down even further. So in a romantic relationship, when you are in a karmic relationship, is that relationship that puts you in a position where you feel like if you are not choosing you, where I can't possibly choose me, or every time you decide that you are going to choose you, the person feels as if you are doing something wrong. That is a karmic relationship. There is a lesson there for you to learn. If it's in a friendship, it is those friendship that you know where the individual talks poorly about you behind your back. It triggers you to the point where you understand fully that the person is no good. And if you're in a friendship and you have to be talking about somebody else behind their back, that is a karmic situation that is happening here. Well, you already know about the workplace. We mentioned that. Now, anything that got you feeling like you cannot choose you, or you have to compromise on your morals or your values, is karmic in nature. So that relationship really prevents you from reaching your goals, because it is one that consumes the hell out of you. It is one where you, for one, cannot be yourself. The moment you decide that you are going to be yourself, they have a problem with you. So in a karmic relationships, what we know definitively is that there is a lesson. So if anything that I just said resonates with you and the type of relationship that you are in, whether it is a workplace, whether it is a friendship, or if it's a romantic relationship, if any of the things I just said resonate with you, think to yourself, what is the lesson here? 9 out of 10 times, the lesson there is self-worth. 9 out of 10 times, the lesson there is you putting yourself first. It's you valuing yourself. It's you being at a state of wholesomeness where you are only accepting and receiving the love that you deserve. So analyze, do your analysis, and if any one of these things show up, it's a clear indicator that you are in a karmic relationship. Don't just set healthy boundaries, because I've had some clients, so what they did, they set boundaries. Look, I'm going to cut you off after realizing that the relationship is karmic in nature. It's so triggering. It creates frustration. After realizing that the relationship is karmic in nature, what they did, they cut the person off completely. While that is necessary from time to time, the main thing from this type of relationship is for you to do the work. We are all in this three-dimensional space that we call Earth. We all had or have some form of trauma that was developed from being here. It therefore means we have to work on them to become our whole self, to become the most loving, truthful, authentic versions of ourselves. We have to do the work. Cutting people off, some people actually relishing the fact I can cut people off. You are cutting people off, but guess what life does to you? You cut people off, and then life said, yo, you haven't learned your lesson. Try it again. Let's see, it's all about learning the lesson. And when you learn the lesson in a karmic relationship, you no longer have to repeat that cycle. So what we find, and a lot of individuals can identify with what I'm saying, what I'm about to say, is because what I find with some of the women that I coach, I would hear them say, oh, this is the exact thing I went through before. The partner that I had, this is exactly what they did to me. In my mind, I already know that this is a karmic relationship. This is life teaching you the lessons that you didn't learn there because you came out of that relationship being a victim. You didn't see your role, the role that you had to play in that relationship. You walk away a victim and you believe as though that this person hurt me and I am going to hate them. That is not what we do here. Here, we learn the lessons. Once we identify that the relationship is karmic in nature, we learn the lessons so that you can move on and not attract something of this similar nature again. So that when you are going for your goals, you're going for your goals with clarity and there is no burden that is weighing you down. Because, guys, a karmic relationship is burdensome. It weighs you down. It's heavy. It is you not functioning in your full or you showing up in your full authentic self. I hope that makes sense to somebody. Now, the second type of relationship that you will encounter in this lifetime is a soulmate relationship. So a lot of times when we hear the word soulmate relationship, we tend to think that this is only a romantic partner. This is not so. A soulmate relationship, and it can be applied to a friendship. It can be someone who is just here for a very short time. It can be applied to your workplace where somebody is there to support you, and it can also apply to a partner. Okay? Now, when a soulmate relationship shows up, it's for help and support. Right? The soulmate relationship, because there's the yin and the yang, there has to be balance. There isn't just only bad in the world, there is good. And the people who come to show us that there is good in this world are our soul mates. But what we do, we fumble the soulmate. That is your blessing. Right? That is your blessing. Now, in a friendship, a soulmate relationship shows up as somebody who has the right words to say to you, who never lets you put yourself down. I have a lot of these. I'm telling you. There are times when I have been so down, like almost to depression, and my friends swoop in, and that was it. That is a soulmate relationship. It can also be a family member. And I can tell you guys right off the bat, nobody cannot tell me that my sister wasn't placed here to help me along this journey. I can tell you every single time, this is so emotional to talk about this, but this is so true. Every single time I'm in the gutter, there she is. Every single time I need help, she shows up, regardless of where she is in the world. I could never forget the first time she showed up for me. She was all the way in Trinidad. Why she came and how she came, I don't know. But that was exactly what I needed, that support. She was right on time. That, to me, how I see it, she is one of my soulmates. I have friends and I have so many other encounters that I believe are soulmates. These are the people that come to guide you on your journey. These are the people, the individuals that you want to stay close to. These are the persons who you of your own self want to share those big goals with, because they're not going to shoot you down. They see you more than you even see yourself. They see you as the highest version of who you are. These individuals are your soulmate. Maybe sometime you have that one friend at work. That one friend at work that keeps you going. You go to work because of him, or you go to work because of her. That is your soulmate. And in a romantic relationship, your soulmate shows up as somebody who brings peace. That don't mean you won't have any bickering, you won't have fallout, and you won't have any problem. So because you and your partner have a little row or so on, you would feel, he's not my soulmate. No, that is not true. Your soulmate, they will drive you. They will also see you as the highest version of yourself. They will not compete with you. They will not think like, oh, what you're doing is so wrong. They will be in alignment with you and your goals. You would not have to choose between them or your goals. They will know that your goals are placing you in a position so that you can feel good about yourself, so that you can express yourself as who you are, the true sense of who you are. That is a soulmate relationship. These are the individuals we want to gravitate to. Remember, I spoke about the karmic relationships. Remember, I spoke about them. Think about them for a second and think about what I just mentioned here about a soulmate relationship. And it doesn't have to only be a partner. It can be friends. It can be that friend that lives all across the world and you're here. But you know, if you call this individual, this person is going to, if they have to spend 3 hours on the phone with you, they will until you are okay. These are the souls that are connected to you naturally. They want to see you thrive. They want to see you show up as your best self. That is a soulmate. I have a book. This is the book. I have it right here. I was reading it only last week. It's a book by the author named June Edwards, and the book is titled All Is Well in Love and Karma. And I gotta say to you, regardless of what relationship you are in, all is well. The only reason you attracted this individual, who we may classify as toxic, but they are just playing their role. The only reason we attracted this individual is so that they can help you to go to the next level. It's so that they can trigger your wounds so you can do the work and heal. Because I can safely say to you, if you do not do the work, I'm prime example of being a victim, blaming other people for the things that occur in my life, not knowing I fully well contributed because I wasn't learning my lesson. The lesson should have been learned ever since. So when you learn the lesson, you no longer have to repeat that cycle. So a lot of our lives are in cycles. A lot of us, our lives is just cyclical because we are not learning the lesson. Because if you come here to learn a lesson, you have to learn it. You got to learn it, whether you like it or not. This is why every individual, as an individual, you have a unique experience. You have to learn that lesson. And the lesson, the faster you learn it, is better for you. Because you will find that this same individual that you just block or run from is showing up again. A different face, a different name, in a different place. Spend time with yourself. Any relationship that you have that is toxic and that is karmic in nature, it's only to teach you a lesson. Sit with yourself and ask yourself, what is the lesson here that I have to learn that I am not learning? You can also ask yourself, what parts of me is so broken that I attracted such and such an individual. You can also ask yourself, what do I have to lose? This relationship is not helping me. This friend, this partner, this job is not helping me to the version of myself that I can see. What is holding me back? It could possibly be a limiting belief as well. So if you're in a karmic relationship, it's so important for you to ask yourself those questions and learn your lesson. Or if you are in a soulmate relationship, I'm encouraging you to honor those individuals. Value them as much as possible. They are your guiding light through this three-dimensional time-space reality that we call Earth. They are here to support you. Do not fumble them. Do not fumble them. Let them know that you care about them. Let them know that you are happy about the support that you've given them. And mind you, the support can only be for a short period of time. Don't be showing up to those individuals who were placed to support you for a short period of time and be like, girl, like you get rich and switch. It's how you get so. Stop doing that. The support was for a period of time. It don't necessarily have to be a lifetime. And the persons who are supposed to be in your life for a lifetime, they cannot go anywhere. They will remain with you. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust the process. And you have to know that matters what it may, you are always guided. You are never alone. You are always taken care of. And 3, you are always supported 110%. You don't have to figure it out all by yourself. Just ask and it is given. Seek and you will find. I really hope you enjoyed this podcast this week. And remember, if you like this podcast, you have to like the video, share the video, comment. And let me tell you guys, next week we have next week we have a beautiful topic. Next week we will talk about attachment styles. We're going to talk about how attachment styles are created. I'm going to help you to identify the type of attachment style that you have that is causing you to go into all these whirlwind of relationships that are no longer serving you. And I'm going to give you tips on how to break free from that. So take care, guys. Stay on the enlightened path. I love you. Have a beautiful week.